What's the real cost of bringing a hometown hero back to Montreal? Is it worth trading away a 26-year-old sniper with elite offensive tools for a 35-year-old veteran whose best days might be behind him? When does nostalgia become a liability instead of an asset? Welcome back, folks. It's Thursday, January 8th, 2026, and we need to talk about the elephant in the room when it comes to the Jonathan Marchessault rumors. According to a report from Gabriel Sammy at All Montreal Hockey, citing insider Chris Johnson, there's one massive obstacle standing between Marchessault and a returned Quebec, Patrik Laine's $8.7 million contract. Let me be crystal clear about what's happening here. Kent Hughes wants to bring Jonathan Marchessault home. The narrative is perfect. The Quebec native, the Stanley Cup champion, the Conn Smythe Trophy winner coming back to play for his hometown team. It's the kind of story that sells jerseys and fills seats and makes fans believe in fairy tales. But fairy tales cost money. And in the salary cap era of the NHL, you can't just add a $5.5 million contract without subtracting something equally significant. That's where Patrik Laine comes in. Chris Johnson was brutally direct in his assessment. Facilitating a trade from Marchessault will require some money going out, with Patrik Laine's cap hit being the most obvious candidate. There it is, black and white. If Montreal wants Marchessault, Laine has to go. Now, let's talk about why this trade makes sense on paper and why it's absolutely terrifying in reality. From a pure cap management perspective, the math works. Laine makes $8.7 million, and his contract expires at the end of this season. Marchessault makes $5.5 million and is signed through 2029. If you swap Laine for Marchessault, you actually create cap space this year, and you get a veteran presence on a longer-term deal. For Nashville, this could be attractive. They're clearly in rebuild mode. They want to shed Marchessault's contract and get younger. Taking on Laine's expiring deal gives them cap flexibility in the summer, while potentially getting a reclamation project who could bounce back and be flipped again or re-signed if he performs. But here's where this gets complicated and frankly scary for Montreal. Patrik Laine is 26 years old. He's a former second overall pick. He's got one of the most lethal shots in the NHL. Yes, he's currently injured, recovering from abdominal surgery that he had back in October. Yes, his production this season has been non-existent. Just 1 assist in 5 games before the injury. But last season, he scored 20 goals in 52 games. That's a 30-goal pace over a full season. That's elite offensive production. That's the kind of player you build around, not the kind you give away for a declining veteran. And make no mistake, Jonathan Marchessault is declining. The report lays out the brutal reality. 7 goals, 10 points, and a -18 rating in 28 games this season. Those are not just bad numbers. Those are catastrophic numbers. -18 means he's on the ice for 18 more goals against than goals for. That's a defensive nightmare. Sure, he won the Conn Smythe Trophy in 2023. Sure, he's got championship pedigree and leadership qualities. But that was 3 years ago. He's 35 now. Father Time is undefeated, and the numbers suggest he's losing this battle badly. So let me ask you this. Would you trade a 26-year-old sniper with elite offensive tools for a 35-year-old veteran who's posting a -18 and might be in the twilight of his career? Would you swap potential for nostalgia? Would you give up on a player who could bounce back and be a 40-goal scorer for a feel-good story that might turn into an albatross contract? Because that's exactly what Kent Hughes would be doing if he pulls the trigger on this trade. The timing makes it even worse. Laine is injured right now, which means Montreal will be selling at his absolute lowest value. He can't showcase his skills. He can't prove he's healthy. He can't demonstrate that he's still the elite goal scorer he was drafted to be. You're basically giving him away for free and hoping that Marchessault can somehow turn back the clock. And here's the kicker. Marchessault is signed through 2029. If this trade goes wrong, if he continues to decline, if those minus ratings keep piling up, Montreal is stuck with him for 4 more years. That's 4 years of a roster spot and cap space being occupied by a player who might not be contributing at an NHL level anymore. Compare that to Laine's situation. His contract expires this summer. If he comes back from injury and doesn't perform, Montreal can let him walk in free agency. No long-term commitment. No cap problems. Just a failed reclamation project that you move on from. But if Laine does come back healthy, if he rediscovers his scoring touch, if he becomes a 40-goal scorer everyone thought he could be when Columbus traded for him, then you've just given away a franchise-level talent for a declining veteran because you couldn't be patient. The report acknowledges this dilemma perfectly. Trading Laine now means selling at absolute rock bottom. But if the goal is to bring Marchessault in now, Hughes has no choice. That's the trap. The pressure to make a move, to bring in a hometown hero, to give the fans what they want, could force Hughes into a decision that haunts this franchise for years. Let's talk about what Marchessault would actually bring to Montreal if this trade happens. He's a veteran presence. Sure, he knows how to win. He's been through playoff battles. He can mentor young players. All of that is valuable. But is it $8.7 million more valuable than what Laine brings? Is leadership worth giving up elite offensive potential? Is nostalgia worth 4 years of cap commitment to a player who might be finished as an impact NHL player? I don't think so. And I really hope Kent Hughes doesn't either. Here's what should happen instead. Montreal should be patient with Laine. Let him recover from surgery. Give him a chance to come back and show what he can do. If he's healthy and productive, great, you've got a legitimate scoring threat. If he's not, his contract expires in the summer and you move on. In the meantime, if Hughes wants to add a veteran forward, there are better options. Blake Coleman, who we talked about extensively, brings physicality and two-way play without the long-term commitment to a declining player. Kiefer Sherwood brings energy and hits. Even Anthony Mantha, for all his inconsistency, is younger and cheaper than Marchessault. The romantic appeal of bringing Marchessault home is strong. I get it. Fans would love it. The media would eat it up. It's a great story. But great stories don't win Stanley Cups. Smart roster management does. And trading a 26-year-old goal scorer for a 35-year-old -18 player is not smart roster management. This is where Kent Hughes has to be the adult in the room. He has to resist the pressure. He has to ignore the nostalgia. He has to make the decision that's best for the long-term future of this franchise, not the decision that makes headlines today. Because if he trades Laine for Marchessault and it goes wrong, if Marchessault continues to decline while Laine bounces back somewhere else, Hughes will never live it down. The fans will turn on him. The media will crucify him. And the Canadiens will be stuck with an unmovable contract for years. That's the price of nostalgia. And it's a price Montreal cannot afford to pay. What do you think, folks? Should Kent Hughes pull the trigger on this trade and bring Jonathan Marchessault home, even if it means giving up on Patrik Laine? Or should he be patient, let Laine recover, and find a better way to add veteran presence without mortgaging the future? Is the hometown hero narrative worth the risk of declining 35-year-old on a long-term deal? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. And don't forget to smash that like button because this trade deadline is getting more complicated by the day. And we're going to be here covering every rumor, every decision, and every move as it happens.